Hey, welcome to day 60 of my spiritual journal with me. Welcome to the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast, where we talk about spiritual business success without experiencing burnout, without doing busy work, and without being broke, quite honestly. And I've just realized, just gone live, and I don't have my light above me on. I have my ring light, so hopefully that's enough. And so I talk about the Soul Legacy Journal. It's a notebook that we're going to be journaling on. So if you don't have pen and paper, grab one. You're going to take some notes. We're going to talk about environmental freedom today because it's Thursday. And this is 365 days of your spiritual awakening story. I call it a co-created soul path to spiritual alchemy for light workers. So environmental freedom. Thursdays. Good morning, Robin. It doesn't say that you're actually on. So Robin is on with us. Robin is the lead soul guided instructor for the Soul Legacy Academy and the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network. It feels really weird not to have that light on in this environment. And I want to say that you may hear, probably quite likely will hear my great niece and nephew. One is a twin, and then she's 4, and then my youngest, or the youngest of that family. And they've actually stayed over, so it's been a very different environment in the Mead household over the less than 24 hours. They stayed over. So if you hear that, I've just said goodbye to them, but I think they'll probably try and come in and knock down the door or something. So welcome. What I will be doing today is part of my spiritual journal. If you are not new to me, you'll know all about environmental freedom and the 7 freedoms. If you are new to me, here on the Soul Legacy TV, I talk about and I interview fellow spiritual YouTubers on their spiritual awakening story, all about when we go on our awakening journey as spiritual business owners and how life doesn't look and feel the same, or it hadn't for me. So on my journey, and I wanted to share that with you and journal out the process, coming out of the dark night of the soul, going through the spiritual awakening, going through the spiritual ascension, and alchemizing it as well. So I am the host of the #1 Spiritual Awakening Annual YouTube Summit. And I also have a co-author book series if you want to share your spiritual awakening story. It's a 7-year annual book series. And I am looking for co-authors as of now. And you can email submissions at SoulLegacyAcademy.com. It is actually for my Soul Legacy Academy students to build their own author and authority platform. The world needs more books. I believe there's never too many books. Books change lives. And part of my spiritual daily rituals and routines, every single day, I share on the Soul Legacy TV what book I'm actually reading that supports whatever area of my life that I'm talking about that day. And so today it is Environmental Freedom Thursdays, which I've been reading or listening to a book called from Bob Proctor called Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. And I'm going to talk about that. I made some notes. It's massive. Changing your paradigm does actually change your life. Usually as part of my spiritual rituals and routines, I'll pull a card, and I'm going to pull this any second now. Talk about gratitude. I bought some chakra crystals. Today, my chakra crystal is rose quartz. And in Robin Knott's world, it is. So Robin is the host of the Energy Healing TV and podcast, and she also has daily vlogs. If you don't know, you do know, then that's cool. She has daily vlogs, and it's part of her energy healing lifestyle. She helps you to unblock your chakras and clear your energy, heal and clear energy. Lots of footsteps coming. And in Robin's world, it's heart chakra healing Thursdays. So hit Robin up if there's anything that, when I talk about the book Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life, I'll talk about more of what Robin can support you in doing for changing your paradigm and changing your life, but also clearing the energy around old paradigms. I think that's really important. That just came to me, and there's something that actually came to me that I actually put in brackets about transferring our skills as light workers, knowing how to transfer our skills to others helps with that transformational process. When we don't know what it is that we're doing, we can't intentionally pass on our gifts. Often we're gifted and we say that we're gifted and we want to have all of this transformation in the world. We don't know how to actually transfer those skills or what it is that our, I could say, high paying soul clients actually need, our students and our subscribers and our viewers. So when you change your paradigm, that kind of shifts as well the vehicle in which you transfer your skills over. And that's part of this whole process. So I'm going to pull the card. Usually I wait to the end, but today I'm going to do the vibrational money voucher at the end. So I think it's nice to break it up. Just before I pull this card, and it's a beautiful card, it was jumper. I was shuffling for ages, and then I was like, do you know what? If you're not going to jump, I'm just going to pull one, and this one jumped out. Robin says transfer the skills. Yeah, that transformation is transferring those skills. And oftentimes we say, you know, we can get people a lot of transformation in the world, and then we kind of don't really actually follow through and actually do that as well as we could, and as to as many people as we could. And part of the Soul Legacy TV, as you know, Robin, as the lead soul guide instructor for the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network, is actually contributing in the world, and the environments that you want to contribute in. Obviously ours is YouTube and online and, you know, offline on a retreat and different things. But unless we know how to convey that, or unless we know the environments that our soul tribe are in, and we're willing to be visible and show up in those environments, because it's Environmental Freedom Thursday, then we kind of missed the mark a little bit with that. We kind of missed the mark. So that's why I love YouTube and really building my business globally on YouTube, and being in the environment where I'm in other people's homes. And I'm not even going to lie, it is actually putting me off because it's so dark in here. So hopefully it's all good for you. And I am thinking for my environment that my great niece and nephew, it's just amazing to even say that, my great niece and nephew. So their mum is just a couple of weeks apart from my son. And for those of you who don't know, my son made his transition 7 years ago. So she's just turned 27. My son would have been 27. And she's got an older child, a boy, and then twins, girl and boy, and a younger one. And there's another one on the way, 5. So their environment is pretty crazy, pretty chaotic. So we had, my daughter had her cousins over last night, so it changed this environment. So again, if you hear noise, that's why. But it's been an absolute joy to have them in this environment. And I just said to the little girl, I said, Auntie, they call me Auntie Noni. So Auntie Noni's going to do my video. And she's like, really? I said, how cool is that? I'm going to do a video on YouTube. And she's looking, she's going, why have you got that stone? Why have you got this stone? Why are you writing in that book? Why have you got... She asked me all the questions. She asked me about my son as well. She looked at a picture in my office, said, who's that? And I explained to her that he was in heaven, and she's 4. So I didn't think she actually understood, obviously the understanding, but I didn't actually think she was, I knew she was listening, but like I didn't know her level of comprehension. So I explained to her mum what I'd said. And this morning she came in and almost repeated word for word what I'd said to her, but not in a parrot fashion, but as in her understanding. She took the nuggets that I gave her, the explanations, and she'd repeat them back to me. And she's very, very bright for her age. And I was like, wow. So one of the things that we also do is, it doesn't look dark. Oh, cool. It's light. I mean, it's daytime. One of the things that we do is, I read a quote for the day. So I'm going to do that, then I'm going to pull the card. So this quote is, it says, difficult, who's it by? Did I write down who it was? Oh, it was unknown. Difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. Difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. I love that. I've had a really difficult road to actually lead to this beautiful destination. Going through the dark night of the soul and the spiritual awakening and all of this stuff, it's a really hard road to travel and to commit to going to until you get to the other side. So my calling, my soul calling, is to support you in that difficult road. And as we do the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge, it's not an easy road. And so far I'm on day 4. It's day 4 for me. So if you're doing the Bank 50 Game 50 Day Challenge, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll share more as we move forward. But all of the information will be in the comments and in the description from my free masterclass where I talk about banking 50K in 50 days. But that road, 50 days, doesn't necessarily it's going to be like swimming, like easy, but it's definitely a beautiful destination. So let me pull this card because I think you'll like it. Robin said it doesn't look dark from here. I love that they got to stay with you. Yeah, it was so nice. I got so much. Robin says baby loves. I just got so many cuddles. Like, and the little one, he's not ever been here to stay because, like, with the pandemic, he was born then. And so he doesn't know me as well as the other ones, or as well as like my nieces and nephews. Like when you get to great nieces and nephews, I'm the youngest of 7, so we've got a lot of really big family, and it kind of waters down and filters down. But that's my daughter looking after her cousins. Do you know what I mean? And it's just beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. And he fell asleep last night with me, and just I got so many. It's lovely. If you have your own children, you'll know. If you have like nieces, nephews, grandbabies, whatever, you know, that's our legacy. I talk about launching, leading, and leaving our legacy, obviously, as the founder of the Soul Legacy Academy, and that's it. That's legacy. They watch you. They watch you. Their mum has watched me as well, and obviously there's an age gap between their mum and my daughter. My daughter's 19, but they're really, really close, and she confides in her and stuff. It's just really beautiful. And I think, wow, what a legacy, you know? Our legacy doesn't just stop with us and our immediate family. It's the extended family, then the extended and their offspring and theirs, as well as making our difference in the world. So that's that soul family influence that I talk about on the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast. They say, you know, soul client income, soul family influence, and soul tribe impact. And every single one, so the Bank 50K in 50 days is that soul client income. This is soul family influence. I believe your soul family, and also soul tribe impact. And I take that's part of my values. And I have a really big vision and mission, and I'm sure you will as well. And it's not an easy road. Let me know if it's been easy or not. So as part of the Soul Legacy Journal, I pull a card for you. I think that's probably the best that we could see in our card. This one jumped out, faith. For me, faith, I'll read it. So it says humanity and benevolence. And I had to look up the word benevolence. That might like seem like crazy to you, but I just looked it up to make sure I really understood what the card was saying. And it's a quality of well-being and kindness. And so it says, stay calm, trust the good in yourself and others, see the light in the world. And as I do my own Bank 50K in 50 days, as I practice what I preach, and I walk my own talk and do my own teachings that I share, it is that stay calm. I'm on day 4, and I've shared already as part of my daily lives the level of disruption that I had felt just from a text message. And I came on, I think it was Tuesday, Health Freedom Tuesday, and the residual from that. And I'm like, okay, this is definitely for me, but hopefully it's for you too. Stay calm, trust the good in yourself and others. And sometimes as a light worker, as we strategically place ourselves in the world, in families and situations that are challenging and difficult. And I say place ourselves because it's choice, you know. I believe our children choose us. We choose the place. Obviously, we've got our children might choose, but that means that we chose. And you know, there's good in others, and to trust ourselves and trust and see the light in the world. When you go through that darkness and you go through that spiritual awakening, that's part of the spiritual journal process. And I'll give you some prompts as we go through this episode. But you know, it can be a challenge. It can be a challenge. So this is faith. When I left my soul-sucking day job, I got into the car. My ex had pulled up, and that was it. That was the last day of my soul-sucking day job. I say soul-sucking. It wasn't soul-sucking in the end. I didn't make it. I didn't allow it to be soul-sucking. But the time was 13:33. And I wrote about that in the Co-author book series that I'm part of. And it was time to turn my wounds into wisdom, those difficult roads into that wisdom, and share it. And this is the vision that I had. And my angel of faith, I looked up 1333, the mirror numbers, and it was the angel of faith. So that's really nice that it's come up now. So let me read this for you. Faith is the archangel who is focused on bringing out our benevolence. She is the twin flame of Archangel Michael and is on a divine mission to help us recognize that humans... Do you know what? I've rubbed here. I do that often. And I don't know if I said on the Energy Healing TV, it's heart chakra. Did I say it was heart chakra? Because when I read this, that's what I was like, oh. And if I didn't, in Robin's World, it's heart chakra healing Thursdays. I think I said that. She's on a divine mission to help us recognize that human beings are basically good and aligned with love. That humans are basically good and aligned with love. And when you think that, what flashes into my mind, I'm like, really? Because we can have a level of frustration with other humans as well as our own humanness. But if we give ourselves grace for our own humanness and step back and see life through the lens of our soul, which we do on the Soul Legacy TV, then we can understand that other humans are maybe caught up in their humanness. So they're basically good and aligned with love. I'm going to keep reading. Just like her name, I've got a shift there. I've got a shift to come there. So this is definitely for me. Like, I'm like, really? So let me know and journal that down. I'm going to journal on it or do some tapping or some releasing on it or something. Just like her name, she's all about, I love, faith and trust. I have faith and I do trust, but sometimes when you see what I call soul funk going on, or somebody stuck in soul funk and not in soul flow, it's like, really? They're all good? Okay. Well, we are, aren't we? You know, we choose, we have a choice. She reminds us that the world, I don't believe in the airy fairy, like everybody has got good intentions. That's where I'm struggling with that one. Yeah, I did say heart chakra. Oh, you're welcome. We need open, our heart be open. She reminds us that the world has taught us to believe that we are separate from love. So Robin has a self-love movement. And so I know that will resonate with you. She reminds us that the world has taught us to believe that we are separate from love, and that if we begin to see the good in others, then we start to cultivate a loving experience of the world around us. And we know that, right? We know that, but do we do that? Is it easy? I don't think it's easy. I think probably rewind me and play it again. It's going back. I'm going back in my own experience. I'm like, I'm reading it again. I'm marinating in it. So the extended message says, stay calm and breathe. Stay calm and breathe. Robin said that to me yesterday, actually, when my mind map went wrong. I couldn't find a mind map for key search terms on soulmates. I have the soulmate, the spiritual dating TV as my second channel, which I'm developing. Couldn't find the key search terms for toffee. And I was like, ah, and it was Emotional Freedom Wednesday. So I was practicing, I think my phone's falling, practicing and, you know, being patient and just, you know, all the things. And then I was just like, just allow it. But Robin's like, my internet keeps freezing. Your internet keeps freezing. Does it? I think I don't even know what's going on with my stuff. That's questionable lately, isn't it? This is my fire. Hang on. But I don't know if the kids have been in here or not, or what. Or if this is just going to collapse on me, or if I'm coming closer. I'm not sure. It feels weird. It feels like a weird angle. I apologize. It feels questionable. Underneath the blocks of gunk, hurt, confusion, etc., humans project out, we are loving. LOL. So do we all need to journal on that some more? Let me know. I literally think that my phone is about to fall apart. My internet keeps freezing. So your internet keeps freezing. I'm hoping that it's not mine. I'm not going to be on this live very long because they were going, but I don't think they haven't gone yet. So I might get to see them again and give them squeezes. So the extended message: stay calm and brave. You are a divine being of love who has done so much good in the world. You may be going through personal transformations and feel that you're not getting anywhere. But Archangel Faith is drawing close to guide you and guide you beyond the limitations that your ego or fears have created for you. So all the ego stuff and all the fears, all the whatever that was, that's not having me sit completely in that space. We don't believe everything, but we have that knowing, but we just might not see it. So I'm gonna try it on. You may be trying to work out whom to trust. And that's it, isn't it? As I do my bank 50k in 50 days and I get back out there, and it's a planning week this week, and I'm recording the process. It's who do you trust and who do you not trust when you've been burnt and you're not being burnt. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I've been burnt, right? And I say burnt, it's like, oh, that's quite harsh. But, you know, it stings when, you know, you put yourself out there and it doesn't go the way that you thought it would. And kind of, I've failed publicly several times, but without that failure, I wouldn't be where I am. So I'm grateful. But it is that who do you trust and who do you not trust? For me, it's about that soul match and calling people in on that level. And I've done that. While some people might feel like they're a soul match to me and feel my energy, it's not always reciprocal. So yeah, I hear that. So first, trust yourself. Absolutely. First, trust yourself. Totally. Write that down in your spiritual journal. First, trust yourself. When you do this and recognize that you are made of love, you will attract those who reflect that love and can enjoy true friendships and loving relationships that know that good is here to stay. I love that, because the friendships that I build over time have just stayed. The friendships that are supposed to have stayed. But I've got soul sisters, like friendships. My best friend is like, we have been friends for over 4 decades, because that's how old I am. We are. Since we're 6, there's only a couple of weeks between our birthdays. And so, you know, and friends for like decades, 30 years, 25 years, 3 decades, 20. There's not that many friends in my world that are less than 10 years, to be fair. And there's several of us. We're going out actually tomorrow. Bye, darling. Love you. We're going out tomorrow with a group of friends. I tend to have groups of friends from wherever I've lived in the world, not in the world, wherever I've lived in around this area kind of thing. I was going to say in England, but in this, that's a bit dramatic. It's not that far. But in this kind of environment, I've moved quite a lot over the time. So I tend to have pockets of friends. But there's that trusting. But when you're online, it's a different ball game altogether, because you don't meet people necessarily straight away, and people hide. They hide who they are, or they project certain things. So that environment, being online, building your spiritual business online, and trusting is a real thing. I'm not even going to lie, like that I will probably need to read that again, or watch myself and my reaction to reading it out loud, because the kids have been here. I haven't really prepared. I have prepared as in listening to my book and writing down, but not really absorbing the card and sitting with it as much as I would normally. And I'm like, really, I think May's trying to shush them. So vision, I talk about vision and values. And part of my vision was to really make a difference and raise our vibrational frequency together. There's me. I've just put my feet up and decided to get really comfy in my environment. And so within the Soul Legacy Academy, that's my work environment. And I was listening to Abraham Hicks as I do my work in the world. And I've got a playlist on environmental freedom from Abraham Hicks. I've got a playlist on all areas of my life. So when I'm doing my work in the world online, and I'm kind of doing monotonous work, meaning copying and pasting, or I'm doing my mind maps now. So I'll listen to Abraham Hicks. Don't know if you're familiar with them. Love it. And one of the recordings was a woman saying that her environment, her work environment was toxic, and they were walking her through not seeing it as toxic, actually seeing it as positive, and seeing why she feels the way that she feels. And for me, as a light worker, let me know if this is how you feel, or if you felt in the past, or if you still feel now, because you are working I call it a soul sucking day job, and it's like, really, don't call it soul sucking, but that's how it feels. It feels draining. That when you work for someone else, or you work in certain things that are certain places that are not in alignment with your values, it's draining. And so being blessed to be able to say, no, actually, I want to build my business online, and I'm going to do all what I need to do to figure it out. Lots of people have come to me over the years and they say, I'm not techie, I don't know what I'm doing online, don't know where to start, and don't really feel like they've got a business as such, and kind of doing things a little bit haphazardly. I can't say it. Haphazard. Oh. Do you know what, that word? Do you know why I can't say it? Because one of my tutors said it to me haphazardously. I can't say it properly. She said that to me. She's like, that was what my worker was like. Unbeknown to me, I had Iona and dyslexia. That stuck with me. I was like, how rude. I had a haphazardous approach of doing things. Wasn't organized, couldn't get my shit together. And now look at me. See, when you're passionate and you love what you do, it comes and it flows, right? That environment, many different environments that I've worked in. I haven't worked in lots, but the environments that I've worked in, I always see that, you know, the change and the growth that people could have. And I just wanted to do that for myself. So let me know if that resonates with you. Working for someone else or working for yourself, that's what they were talking about. Like, do you want to be self-employed, or do you want to have somebody be employed by someone else? And I know, as a spiritual business owner and wanting to, you know, grow my YouTube channel, it's like, yeah, I couldn't think of anything worse, to be fair. So I was talking about the book that I read, and today we're going to do gratitude and then wrap up with the money voucher. Robin says, it's draining to try, force yourself to work in areas that you're not in alignment with. Yeah, that environment's huge. Like, it just doesn't feel good. But that's the social conditioning, isn't it? That's the model that we're taught, you know. Go to school, well, now go to nursery. My little great nephew will be going to nursery. He's 2 in September, 2, and then go through the system. So go to college, go to university, go get your job, and then retire at like 60 something, maybe 65, 63, whatever it is, I don't even know. But by the time they get there, I don't even know what the age will be. And then retire and do the things that you love. And I'm like, wow, to that. That's a lot of years, at least 60 years of your life in institutionalized in a system, that social conditioning, which fuels your mind and fuels how you are, which the book, Change Your Paradigm and Change Your Life, when you realize that actually you have a choice to change your paradigm, and the paradigm is that those thoughts and those feelings is a set of ideas, as Bob Proctor calls it, a set of ideas in your subconscious mind that form your life, shape your life, and that are passed down, the habits that are passed down from others. Imagine 60 years in environments that you don't really want to be in. How many people really, really wanted to go to school? I know that some people would, but I can't say the large majority, probably the large majority, but I can't say that for sure. But I mean, some people would absolutely. I didn't love it because of the environment. Having Iona and dyslexia and being empathic, and you think being an empath, it's like you were an empath when you were an adult because you learned about it. But we're always that way, right? And so those environments did not suit me at all. Robin says, I can't even begin to picture you being unorganized. Really? Really? Oh, wow. Thank you. So my value, so I have a vision for my spiritual business, and that my vision, so we talk about vision, we talk about values, and we talk about raising your vibration, right? Which I haven't done yet. So Robin, could you put your environmental freedom frequency, the rating, please, so I don't forget to say it. Thank you. But yes, so my value when I did my spiritual vision board, if you haven't done my spiritual vision board, I suggest you do that. So it will help you get clear on the environment that you want to create for yourself as you do your spiritual business. We talk about each area of your life: contribution freedom, health freedom, emotional freedom, environmental freedom, relationship freedom, spiritual freedom, and financial freedom. That's 7 freedoms over 7 days. Today's Thursday, contribution for environmental freedom. So my value in contribution is to be efficient and organized. So I wanted, because I wasn't, the contrast is I really wasn't. I was always late for everything. My friends at school, and they would vouch for this for sure. They'd be like, yeah, they call me, everybody calls me Iona. I'd be like, oh yeah. So when we would meet on a Saturday, they would tell me a different time just so I would show up, and they would know that then I would still be late, and they'd all just be waiting for me. I don't even know, like that's crazy to me. But my mum was like it, my sister was like it, my sister's son was like it. I don't know if her daughter was like it. My son was like it. My daughter's kind of like getting out of the house, just that passing down. But yeah, I was not organized. Books, not having the right stuff at school, not even slightly. So when the tutor talked about haphazardly, yes, I got it, doing my work for my college work, I didn't get it. Like I went to I did the Open University, so I'd done a lot of online correspondence, and I think that's why learning online, a lot of correspondence skills over time, and that's why I know how to do the education online. I've got an online teaching portal in the Soul Legacy Academy. I'm saying I know, like that sounds arrogant, but it's not meant to be. It's just I learned really well, and I knew what felt like it was missing, that robotic style. So I just teach, I just share what I know. And I had to be organized in the sense once I made a commitment to my spiritual business and to grow it in the way that I wanted to grow it in, I had to be organized, because when I'm not organized, it feels so chaotic. It seems so chaotic. Right now, my house is not the way that I would normally have it. And with the kids being here, yesterday I was like, shall I tidy it up? And I was like, I'll wait until they go. Because like 4 children in a house, is a lot. I'm the youngest of 7, so I didn't really experience that from when I was growing up. It was probably chaos was around me, but that kind of environment I don't thrive well in. So I have to be organized, and if I'm not organized, it makes me feel a certain kind of way, that it makes me feel overwhelmed. It makes me feel like I just can't be as efficient, because people don't need that. They need me to be organized. And when I launched my co-author book series the first time around, it was like people were like, Iona, where's the link? Iona, when's this call? And I was creating it as I was going, and I'm like, well, this is so and so, and I'm guided. When I set a vision, I'm guided and I'm nudged by my soul guidance. And I was like, oh, okay, let me pause. I need to be organized. So I've organized, so Robin knows I've organized the next 7 years of my business, group coaching calls, my summit, and my online training portal, like all the things. And I did that because I wanted to make my difference, but I didn't want to experience in my body like disease. Do you know what I mean? Like I wanted to do it with peace of mind. And the only way that I could do it with peace of mind without answering the same question over and over and over and over and over again, and because that's frustrating to me, was to organize it in the way that I have. And that's why I love it. I love it so much, it fuels me. So that's funny that you say you can't even picture me being unorganized. That's, I'm going to say hilarious, but I can see that. Everything that you see within me and everything that you see me do, I've had deep contrast. deep contrast is where you see me excelling. So yeah, so with the dark night of the soul and the spiritual awakening, deep contrast is into this level of spiritual alchemy. And that's what they say: when you have a vision, you have that contrast, and it's just birthing rockets of desire. Robin says, right, it's robotic. Yeah, go to work, pay bills, keep up with your home, sleep if you can, repeat, no thanks. No thank you. No, thank you. No, thanks. It is robotic. And that's then life. That's then life. That's that. So when we change our paradigm, we change our life. And as we do the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge, as I said, you know, I felt disrupted and I'm like, what is that? And this is me. I was saying to one of my friends, like, she's like a best friend, she's like a sister. And we've known each other all of our lives. She's 45, I believe. So I used to babysit for her. Like, I'm 48. I used to babysit for Andrea, her older sister. I think her sister's maybe 2 years older than that. I used to babysit for them. So and I was young. So that's how I've always been, like quite an old soul. So I used to babysit for them. But yeah, the organization and the thing, I can't remember why I was going to mention her anyway. But anyway, so changing your paradigms, changing your life. And the book by Bob Proctor, he's talking about your ideas and your habits, your internal world. Obviously, we know that that's the thing that's going to shape your environment. So the first environment, Robin, I know you talk about this, is in here, right? So what's going on between your head is your success. And so if you don't feel as successful, oh, that's what I was going to say. So this Bank 50K in 50 Days, I was saying to my friend today, this is going to be, last night actually, that this is going to be a journey of me becoming an up-leveled version of me. You know, I'm doing okay, I'm doing great, but I'm becoming an up-leveled version of me. Every time I do the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge, it's not, oh, well, I've got to get to the money goals. Who do I become? What do I do? What service do I offer? What value do I offer as I do it? So Bob Proctor was talking about the habits that are passed down. So change the way that you see the world, good or not so good. And he says when you want to have your weight change, whether your weight fluctuates, we're doing like that whole weight releasing and stuff. And I've had that challenge this week, and I'm just like, well, that's my paradigm. So I'm working on that habits. Whether it is your income, whether you've tried to improve your income for years, all of those things are your thoughts, your subconscious thoughts, your finances, your health, your fitness, your lifestyle, your relationships, all of the thing. It's an internal job. We know that, the inside stuff, and the repetition of that, you know, the habits that we're doing. So because we're doing the Bank 50K in 50 Days, and I literally have been observing myself to the degree of recording what I'm doing. And so today, this is what I always do. So I'm going to give you a tip. This is what I always do. For years I've done this. When I might not be able to do this actually. I might not be able to. I can show you some of it. When I do anything like, you probably won't be able to read the names. I'm not going to show the names. When I do anything for, like, I want to manifest more clients, more students, anything like that, I can show you the second page. I write down on my page, hang on, oh, you can't see. But on my page is just numbers, and it's 1. And I was like, then the next page, then the next page. And it went all the way to 100, right? So then I can't show you because I filled in some of the names for the co-authors that are in my co-author book series. But anybody that's in my 5-day challenge, anybody that's in my boot camp, anybody that is coming to the retreat, I'll write down by their name. So when I start with that blank page, I've put that environment. Your environment is your biggest vision board, right? So I'll write a list, and I teach this. You write a list, a call list, people to call to, people to reach out to, and you track it. If you track it and you say, this is how many people I want to work with, I do this one to many. So if you're looking like 100, and like this is for the co-author book series, it's like, okay, how many co-authors do I want in there? Okay, well, let's start here and then just see. And when you write a number, so this is 1 to 32 on the first page, and then 66 and then 100. You'll see how many that is, because lots of people set this vision. I want to help millions of people. If you actually saw what millions of people look like on a page, you'd be like, damn, I want to help a lot less. Do you know what I mean? It's really cool. I love that. I love doing that. So environmental freedom Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. I recommend that book. Honestly, I really, really do. I've lost my page for the book. So what else does he say? You want to observe your behavior. So if you're part of the Bank 50K in 50 days challenge, observe your behavior during the 50 days, because most people are still struggling. Most people have got lots of information, he's saying, but they don't do anything with it. They've got degrees, they've got all the things. They know what to do, but they don't actually do it. And repetition is key. Doing the thing over and over and over again. Most people every single day, if you look at your day, you look at last week, was what you were doing each day going to support you in getting the result that you want to get on your vision board, whether it's for your environment? I want to travel while I teach. Well, if I don't build my spiritual business online and I don't build my YouTube channel, which is a free marketing tool, right? Free, the M word, marketing. It's for free. Obviously, I do YouTube ads as well, and I'll do more YouTube ads, but still, do you know what I mean? And it's just like, you can, anywhere that you've got an internet connection, you can do that. And that's a freedom of environment. It's massive. So our success is determined by what's going on in our minds. And he said it actually took him 9.5 years to figure out what he'd actually done to be a success and his habits. This is Bob Proctor. And then he says he earned $1 million in his business. He tells his story. And then he went to work for Nightingale Conan, and he worked for them for 18,000. Made $1 million, but worked for them for 18,000. He doesn't say he never used to say, late Bob Proctor, that he lost his $1 million that year. He spent it all, I believe. Don't quote me on it, but I don't know if it was that year. But I've only ever heard him say that once, and I can't remember where it is. And I've listened to a lot of his stuff. I wondered why. But anyway, he went to work for them for 18,000. And it took him 5 years. Then he got 33,000. Then obviously he changed millions and millions of people's lives. And I think it's really important to remember, one book's changed lives, but it's a journey. It's a journey. And if he hadn't stuck with it, then there's a lot of people that would not be doing what they're doing in the world, because Bob Proctor touched a lot of people. He read the book Think and Grow Rich, and we'll be reading that in the Mastermind. Robin says having a visual helps me a lot. Yeah, it does. So it's writing down the list, because otherwise it's in your head, and you don't need to keep that information in your head. I write down a lot. Usually it is very messy, actually, what I write, but it's still helpful. My writing is not. I have learning dyslexia, but I don't beat myself up. You can't even. Those are my notes for today. That was me reading the book. That was my notes for yesterday, which I wrote in green pen, which I don't normally. And that's in my Soul Legacy journal. So when I'm saying I'm journaling, in my journal, anything that I write down, I consider this is my journal, my daily vlog, right? Soul speaking into existence. Right. Environmental freedom. Sorry. Environmental freedom Thursday. So usually we rate ourselves between a 1 and 11. So what would you say you are feeling like, as in high vibe, low vibe, soul flow around your environmental freedom? Today, my environmental freedom got an 8. Now, every single day I rate myself between a 1 and 11. 11 being connected, like really connected and really followed through for your soul guidance. I got all 11s last week, and I added it up at the end of the week. It's like, yes. This week on Contribution Freedom Monday, I got an 11. On Health Freedom, I got an 11. And then I got the text message that I got, and I was like, oh, and it made my vibration dip, and it's still sitting there a little bit, and it's impacted me. And so it had a ripple effect. So 9 was emotional freedom. My emotions went down. And 8 is for the Environmental Freedom Thursday, purely because I haven't cleaned my environment the way that I want to clean it while I'm doing my launch. So that is my mission. And today I actually scheduled out when I would be doing that. I talked about it. And before doing it, again, I used to have Saturday jobs, but Thursdays and Saturdays are for me to clean up my physical environment. My online environment, I'm not on the socials, so I've cleaned that up. That is just amazing. I say just get out. If the socials are not giving you a return on investment, how you're spending your time and your energy and your money, and matters. Do an inventory. As I talk about the 7 freedoms, I call them the intentional living codes, how you're living your life and how it makes you feel. So I've dipped. I know tomorrow will be a high vibe day, back to 11. I'm going out with my friends and stuff. If it was Relationship Freedom Friday today, I would be buzzing. I've had, baby loves and nieces and because it's environment. And obviously when they came, it's like, okay, it's really chaotic, but they did clean up the living room. I came down and it was all done. My daughter put all the cushions back and everything. And I was like, oh, wow. That was really nice. But yeah, 8 for me. And I don't think I've had an 8 in my environment for months and months and months. I can't remember the last time I've dipped. I can't remember the last time I've dipped that low, to be fair, which 8 might not seem low. I'm looking back in my journal. It might not seem low, but it is for me. Or 8, I've got an 8, 27th of March for financial freedom. Yeah, I don't dip that low. So I know for me, it's huge. So Robin says EFT 10. That's really high for you. That's amazing, Robin. Robin says, I'll be back for what I missed. Thank you for sharing with us. Love you. Love you too. Emotional freedom Thursday for Robin equals a 10. So that's how we write that. So when you think of your environment, when you think of your workspace, when you think of your living space, when you think of the world, your like environment internally, how you feel, but your environment within your home, your environment within your community, nationally, internationally, globally, universe, all the things, how do you feel? Do you feel in soul funk or do you feel a bit in soul flow? That'll matter with what you do. So Robin's got a 10. I love that. Yeah, so for me, that's like, okay, well, what is it that's made you dip? Okay, pull that back up, do the things, and then set the intention. So it's not beating ourselves up, as Robin says, no blame, shame, and guilt. Although my first instinct is like, really, Iona? Really? Because I've been talking myself out and putting things off. So for me, as I started the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenges, unrealistic expectations, as in I've been recording quite a lot and wanting my environment to be just done over the weekend, and I didn't get it done. And so that's made me dip. My environment compared to a lot of people's environment is high standard. But now there's clothes that I'm looking over there. There's clothes that are on the radiator, or my windows are not done, or do you know what I mean? I've not got OCD, but and I know the kitchen is probably not the washing up, although I do leave the washing up sometimes on the side. Do I have a dishwasher? But do you know what I mean? So it's for me. Or there's a pile of clothes in my bedroom on the chair, and they're clean and they're ready to go away, and I haven't put them away. That kind of thing. There's a pile of books on the sofa bed in my office because I took them all off my desk, ready to clean my desk, and I haven't done it because I've been recording and doing the things. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm recording this process, and some of the days I've done like 3 and 4 recordings per day, so that's extra on top of what I was doing. So that time I could have spent cleaning. So it's making sure I've got that balance to make sure that it feels really good. So I want to wrap up environmental freedom Thursday. Oh no, let's do gratitude, then we'll do the vibrational money voucher. So when we do gratitude as part of the spiritual journals, part of that awakening and life looking and feeling different, we want to be grateful for what it is that we have. And I think coming from that space when you're in like an awakening is tough, but it does help. And so I like to say for the 7 freedoms, for each of these areas that I talk about on the Soul Legacy TV, what are you grateful for? Bring them all into one day so you can notice and set your reticular activating system that you're noticing you're being guided to be grateful for more things. So I say gratitude for the CHEERS acronym, which stands for contribution freedom, health freedom, emotional freedom, relationship freedom, spiritual freedom, no, environmental freedom, relationship freedom, spiritual freedom, and financial freedom. So think of one thing as your spiritual journal prompt that you can be grateful for. Write it down or say it out loud if you want to do your spiritual journal, like via video, via text, whatever. One thing, I used to speak my gratitude out to my ex-partner on a voice note. So if you've got a soul accountability buddy in the Soul Legacy Academy, do that. In the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network, do that. Just say what you're grateful for each area. So I like to say I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate whatever it is that I'm happy and I'm grateful and appreciating. And then I would think of the things that are in the past, the present, and the predicted future, kind of like a thanks in advance, just so that you're covering, you know, not thinking of the lack necessarily, but thinking of the things that didn't go out so well. Say for me, for my environment, like, oh well, I've dipped, but I'm happy and grateful and appreciate that I have a home, because there's one point I was homeless. Do you know what I mean? So I'm really happy and grateful that I've got windows to clean. Do you know what I mean? Like, the windows are dirty, I've got windows to clean, and I've got clothes. I went to go put on I said, oh, I need a t-shirt, and I said, I need my blue t-shirt. I couldn't find my blue t-shirt, and I've been putting them away in my environment, been putting them. And my niece said, why do you need a t-shirt? You've got one on. My pajamas on, my pajama bottoms on. And she said, excuse me. So I said, oh, I need my blue t-shirt. So I walked past my door and I went, what day is it? I said, Thursday. I need my green t-shirt. And she's like, yeah, Mom. My daughter knows the day she bought me the t-shirt. So we figure out the day she knows whatever t-shirt I'm wearing, that's the day of that freedom, which is legacy in and of itself. So we say we're happy and we're grateful and we appreciate. Think of something for your contribution, something for your health, something for your environment, something for your relationships, something for your spiritual freedom and financial freedom. I'm not going to do that today. You do that. I usually do it with you, but I hadn't made my notes. I could do it off the cuff, but I'd just be like, there's a little feather that just fell down. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate the little feather, my little signs in my spiritual freedom, my relationship freedom, guidance, angels, my son. Right, like, really, Iona? That's beautiful. And my environment just drifted. It's happened before, just drifted. Then out of my awareness. That's beautiful. So let's wrap up with the vibrational money voucher. The Soul Legacy Journal gives you £1,000, dollars, or euros every single day in vibrational money, and you get to spend it. And you get to spend it making memories with your soul family, you know. So, excuse me, I've got like a deviated septum and I really want to have a blow or something. And I think the allergy season might be kicking over here as well, Robin. So spend your vibrational money voucher. If you're new to me, we play the soul income game. Bank 50k in 50 days. So I have a masterclass that supports you in building a spiritual business model that would allow you to bank 50k in 50 days, earning passive income and earning, group coaching income as well. But in the vibrational world, if you're not kind of aligned to that and you've got money blocks, I really want to go off and just have a drink and sort myself out, so I'm going to do this quickly. If you've got money blocks, Robin Knott has got a 5-day money blocks clearing challenge, and she calls it a self-love journey to financial freedom. Because not having the financial freedom, you might have your finances. I talk about contribution freedom, and I talk about financial freedom and everything else in between, having the health, the relationships, having the experiences in life while we're here on this earthly plane. And not having that, not allowing yourself that in your spiritual business, and you don't want to go get a soul-sucking day job, then where are you? Where, you know, how's it working out for you? Do you know what I mean? So we want to bank our 50k in 50 days so that we can have that vibrational experience. And for it to manifest, what is going on in here internally and vibrationally is what we're going to experience. So that's the idea behind it. So every day you spend your vibrational money voucher, or you get a vibrational money voucher, you can tithe 10% to a worthy cause. Excuse me, it's mandatory to tithe 10% to a worthy cause. I tithe to Cruise Bereavement Care, which I haven't written down today because I had the kids with me. So write it down, go to wherever it is in the vibrational money voucher, right, to Cruise Bereavement Care. And that is for, in loving memory of my son. Cruise Bereavement Care helped me out when I was going through my dark night. So when I was going through, I've been through a lot of losses and a lot of grief. And I reached out and I said, before the walls cave in on me, somebody help me. And they did. It was amazing. So I tied 10% to them. And then we don't pay on bills. We want to come from the space of our bills are being taken care of. Excuse me. Our bills are being taken care of. And that it's live, right? I can't, like, I couldn't just get up and turn on my live. I could if I was holding the camera. Anyway, we want to come from the space that your bills are already taken care of. So tithe 10%, your bills come from the space that your bills are taken care of. So that means you're not worrying. And then, and you're coming from that space of a poverty consciousness rather than a prosperity consciousness. I'll talk about that more on Financial Freedom Sunday. And if you don't feel like you've got the time to, like, oh, I don't want to do this every single day, tithe your 10% and carry over the remaining balance to the next day till you can spend it. And if you want a bigger chunk of money to spend, Robin and I are going on a spending spree. On Sundays, I like to spend my vibrational money, so I will tithe 10% every single day. Wow. Wow. That was super, super, super loud. I don't think I've ever heard anything like it. Wow. Yeah, so you want to spend it. You can spend it on Financial Freedom Sundays with us. So when you get the vibrational money voucher every day from your Soul Legacy journal, right? It's a magical journal. If you don't spend it, you have to spend it by Sunday. And if you don't spend it by Sunday, you'll lose it. So you don't really want to put that vibration out there. If you're going to do the Bank 50K in 50 days challenge with us, then do it in the vibrational world and then come and do it in the physical world with me. You'll see that in the description and in the comments, in the pinned comment, that I will leave the information to my masterclass, Spiritual Biz YouTubers Masterclass, Bank 50K in 50 days challenge. I will show you how to speak, serve, and sign up your soul clients, one-to-many, high-paying soul clients, not because you have to charge them an arm and a leg, but the way that we build your spiritual business model. There's passive income streams, and there's 3 main income streams. I show you 5 at least. 2 of them passive, well, more passive. Your book passive, your notebook passive, that's 4. 1 of them leveraged, 2 of them leveraged, upgrades, or all the things, right? So we'll do the Bank 50K in 50 days challenge. If you love what I do, I would love for you to be a co-author in my co-author book series. Share your spiritual awakening story as I support you in building your own author and your own authority platform, meaning your own book, your own #1 best-selling book. If you've launched a book already and it's not gone to #1, I will share with you how you can do that. And I will share with you in the mastermind how you can do that and how you can run your spiritual business, a retreat, an online workshop. It's aeroplanes. That is so loud. Wow. There's certain times in history when people will have heard an aeroplane and certain things happen, and that's what that always reminds me of. I read the diary of Anne Frank. Anyway, I can't remember. Oh, so sorry. the environment, right? So banking 50k in 50 days. If you love what I do, I will help you build your own author and your authority platform, and go out and get featured, speaking, summits, TV, radio, all the things. I'm doing my own version of the Bank 50k in 50 days challenge now. I'm on day 4, and I will do mine back to back, just so if you're in the Soul Legacy Academy, then you can come and you can get support every single day if you want to, every single week, on each area of your life. You'll see that I have a free chapter to my book. It's a #1 best-selling book. It went to #1 bestseller on Amazon in the Kindle store a week after it was after I launched it. I took it to #1. I love that. And so I have a free chapter of my book, or it's on pre-order, or you can order it. If you can order it, then please leave a review for it. I would love that. And with that free chapter VIP day, with my masterclass that happens live on the last Monday of the month at 3 p.m. UK time, then I have a free chapter VIP day, and I will share with you how to start, grow, and structure your spiritual business, a successful spiritual business online on YouTube, and launch your #1 best-selling book. And again, if you've already written your book and it didn't go to #1, that's absolutely fine. I can share that with you. If you want to write a book, again, in the Mastermind, as I write my book, I'm 4-time #1 best-selling author, 3 co-author book series. Yesterday, the book that was the 3rd co-author book series that I was part of, it launched in April, launched last month, and we wanted it to get to #1, and so I knew that I was going on a mission to get my book to #1, and so I did. I got my book to #1, and then I was sharing with the author of that book, and you haven't hit #1 yet, and here's probably why. We had a conversation, and they did a relaunch, and we hit #1, and I'm like, yes. So I want to show you how to hit #1 with your book on Amazon, so you can go out there and get featured and get your message out there to your soul tribe and add that credibility and that visibility to your business. All the things that you've been trying to avoid, all the environments that you've been trying to avoid, but getting in front of your soul tribe. So I will help you and support you in doing that. So that is it for this episode of the Soul Legacy TV Environmental Freedom Thursdays. Please share this out. Subscribe to the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast. Invite a fellow soul light worker in to journal along with us and to have spiritual business success without being busy, without being broke, and without experiencing burnout, as I like to say, with ease, grace, and flow. So I shall see you on the next one. This is your soul sister signing off. Take care.